Boris Boo welcome you to story time in October. Boy, do we have some fun stories, so might as well get started. Here we go. The Big Pumpkin. Written by Erica Silverman and illustrated by S.D. Skindler. Once there was a witch who wanted to make pumpkin pie. So she planted a pumpkin seed. She weeded and watered, and after a while, a sprout poked through, and then a pumpkin grew. And it grew, and it grew, and then it grew some more. Soon Halloween was just hours away. The witch thought about pumpkin pie, and then bent down to take it off the vine. Well, she pulled and she tugged, and she pulled. She pulled hard, then she pulled harder. But the pumpkin just sat. "Drat!" said the witch. Just then along came a ghost. "Oh, big pumpkin," said the ghost.
"It's big, it's mine, but it's stuck on the vine, and Halloween's only hours away,"
said the witch. And she kicked that pumpkin. "Oh, I'm bigger than you, and stronger too," boasted the ghost. "Let me try," said the witch. But she thought about pumpkin pie, and then she stepped aside. The ghost bent down to take the pumpkin off the vine. Well, he pulled and he tugged and he pulled. First he pulled hard, then he pulled harder. But the pumpkin just sat. "Oh, drat!" said the ghost. Just then along came a vampire. "The Big Pumpkin," said the vampire.
"It's big, it's mine, but it's stuck on the vine, and Halloween's only hours away,"
said the witch. And she kicked that pumpkin. "No, I'm bigger than both of you, and stronger too," boasted the vampire. "Let me try," said the witch. Said the ghost. But they both thought about pumpkin pie and stepped aside. The vampire bent down to take the pumpkin off the vine. Well, he pulled and he tugged and he pulled. First he pulled hard, then he pulled harder. But the pumpkin just sat. "The drat!" said the vampire. Just then along came a mummy. Big pumpkin," said the mummy.
"It's big, it's mine, but it's stuck on the vine, and Halloween's only hours away,"
said the witch, and she kicked that pumpkin.
"I'm bigger than all of you, and stronger too,"
boasted the mummy.
"Let me try,"
said the witch. "Oh, said the ghost. "The hump," said the vampire. But they all thought about pumpkin pie and stepped aside. The mummy bent down to take the pumpkin off the vine. Well, she pulled and she tugged and she pulled. First she pulled hard, then she pulled harder. But the pumpkin just sat.
"Drat!"
said the mummy. Just then along came a bat.
"The Big Pumpkin,"
said the bat. The witch didn't say a word. She just looked at the ghost and rolled her eyes. The ghost looked at the vampire looked at the mummy, and they all looked at the little bat, and they started to laugh.
"I may not be big, and I may not be strong,"
said the bat.
"but I have an idea."
And the bat told them what to do. Said the witch. "Oh, said the ghost. "The humph," said the vampire. Said the mummy.
"Ready, set, pull,"
called the bat. And the bat pulled the mummy. The mummy pulled the vampire pulled the ghost, and the ghost pulled the witch. And the witch pulled the pumpkin. Well, they pulled and they tugged and they pulled. First they pulled hard, then they pulled harder, and snap! Off came the pumpkin.
Drat!
Said the witch. Whoosh! It flew and it flew and it flew. Thud! It landed on top of the hill, and then thump, thump, thump. It bounced all the way down to the witch's house. And when it got to her door, the pumpkin just sat.
Hooray for the bat!
Shouted the witch, and she hurried inside to make pumpkin pie. Said the ghost.
Have some more!
Said the witch. Couldn't have another bite, said the vampire. Fun party, said the mummy.
Gotta go,
said the bat.
Drat!
Said the witch, as she watched them all leave. Then she went out and planted another pumpkin seed. Wasn't that a fun, spooky story? Can't wait for next time. Speaking of that, we'll see you then.